Okay, class. Today we are going to write notes on the week 5 essential questions. This is super important, which is the reason why we're going to put these notes in our notebook because this is a review, but this is definitely what you should know. Okay, definitely what you should know. We're going to label this page 5. This is quarter 3. And at any given time, if I'm moving too fast, raise your hand, okay? Use the raise your hand tool or unmute yourself and let me know, Miss Reyes, could you please slow down, okay? And I'll be more than happy to do so. This is page 4. Miss Reyes is tripping. She said 4 and then wrote 5. Guys, please forgive me, okay? This is page 4. The title is Week 5 Essential Questions. Okay? This is going to sum up basically what we have covered so far. Okay, and we're only going to do 2 questions. We're only doing the 2 questions. Number 1, we're going to define the following. Define the following. And there are going to be 3 definitions that we're going to do for this one. The first word that we're going to define is going to be linear equations. Linear, the smaller word in linear is line. Linear equations. Okay? The definition for linear equations are equations that graph straight lines. Linear equations are equations that graph straight lines. Linear equations are equations that graph straight lines. Okay? We're going to write or draw 4 examples. I'm going to draw 4 small coordinate planes. Each coordinate plane, I'm going to label the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis, this is the x-axis here, horizontal number line. Y-axis is the up and down or vertical number line. I'm going to draw 4 graphs. X-axis is the horizontal number line. Y-axis is the vertical number line. I'm going to draw 4 graphs. X-axis, horizontal number line, left to right. Y-axis is the up and down or vertical number line. Your first example of a linear equation is going to be an equation that graphs a line that is going up. This line, how do I know this line is going up? Because from left to right, the line is going up. From left to right, this line is going up. So this line has a positive slope. This means that m is going to be a positive number. This means that m, the slope, is going to be a positive number because from left to right, the line is going up. Okay? The next kind of linear equation is going to be an equation that graphs a line that goes down. An equation that graphs a line that goes down. That means from left to right, the line is going down. This line has a negative slope. That means my m for this line is going to be negative. My m for this line is going to be negative. This line has a negative slope. The next kind of linear equation, an equation that graphs a line that goes just straight across. It's a flat line. It's horizontal. This line right here has 0 slope. It has no incline to it. So m for a line that's flat is 0. M is equal to 0 for a line that's just horizontal or flat. M is equal to 0 for these lines. The last type of linear equation are going to be equations where when you graph them, the line is up and down, straight up and down, okay? It's a vertical line. Vertical lines have undefined slope. Vertical lines have undefined slope. That means you'll say M is undefined slope. Your slope is going to be undefined for lines that are vertical, up and down. Is slope. The letter for slope is M. Remember that letter for slope is M. The definition for slope is the steepness of a line. How steep the line is or the incline of the line. The steepness of a line or the rate of change. Or the rate of change. And remember, guys, there are two formulas to finding slope. You have rise over run, and you have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? This is the formulas for finding slope. I'll pause for the calls to give you a chance to write. The last vocabulary word is going to be y-intercept. The last vocabulary word is going to be y-intercept. Your y-intercept is also known as the starting amount, especially in a word problem. What you're looking for is starting amount, or you're also looking for initial value. That's your y-intercept in a word problem, that is. It's your starting amount or it's your initial value. The letter for y-intercept is going to be B. That's the letter for y-intercept. Definition. The definition for the y-intercept is going to be where the line, whatever the equation is, where the line crosses, wherever that straight line crosses the y-axis. That's your y-intercept. Intercept means cross. So wherever it crosses the y-axis, or it is the y value when x is equal to 0. Or it is the y value when x is equal to 0. Those are the definitions that we definitely need to make sure that we know. All right. Question number 2. And I got the questions off our page, okay, off our week 5 page, okay? Number 2 is describe how to compare. Let's put the slope and y-intercept of functions. Okay? We're going to describe how to compare. And that's all we've been talking about this week was comparing them. I'll let you process and write. Pause for the calls. Okay? So we start off with what do we mean when we say functions or equations. A function can look three different ways. You can see a function written or represented as a graph. That means it's a straight line. It could have a positive slope. This I could say is a function. This line, okay? This graph is a function. You can see a function represented as a table where you have x and y values. Your x and y values could be 0 and 2, 1 and 4, and 2 and 6. And it's a function, of course, because none of the x values repeat. This is another way to represent a function. So you got a graph that can represent a function, a table that can represent a function, and the last way to represent a function is an equation. Okay? An example of what an equation looks like: y is equal to 5x plus 7. And remember, this equation is in y equals mx plus b form, slope-intercept form. So functions can look like a graph, a table, or an equation. Those are the different ways that a function can look like. And I'll pause and give you a chance to write and process. This is a function. It's a straight line, and none of the x values repeat. It's not a line that goes straight up and down, a vertical line. The vertical line is the only line that is not a function because it's straight up and down. You're welcome. Okay, so this is super important about slope and comparing slope when comparing slope. Okay, this is important. Okay, look at the negative and positive sign to see if it's going up or down, increase or decrease. So when comparing slope, look at negative and positive signs as it's going, the line is going up or down. Another way to look at it is increase or decrease. That's what your negative and positive signs represent. If M is positive, that means it's increasing. If M is negative, that means it's decreasing. That means it's going down if it's decreasing. If it's going up, it's increasing. That's how you have to look at the negative and positive signs when comparing slope. That's how you have to look at it, okay? So what this means, and I'm going to go ahead and do this example real quickly, because you have to have this example to fully understand what I mean. If M is equal to -2, and then in the other function, M is equal to -5, this right here is saying that the slope is decreasing by 2. And this is saying that the slope is decreasing by 5. The one that's decreasing the most is going to be the one that's decreasing by 5. So it's the greater rate of change. This slope is greater. It is the one that is decreasing faster. It is the greater slope. Even though it's the smaller number, it's the greater slope because it's decreasing faster. Does that make sense? When you're comparing the y-intercept, when comparing y-intercept, super important, okay? All you're doing all you're doing here is just looking to see which one is either smaller or greater. You can go by the numbers, okay? You're comparing, look to see which uh which one is smaller or greater. That's it. You can go by the numbers on this one. And to drive this home, I have to do an example just to make sure that you understand, okay? Remember, the letter that represents y-intercept is B. The letter that represents slope is M. So in this example, you have two y-intercepts. Your B is -3, and then your B is a +2, okay? The slope that is greater here is going to be the 2, the +2. This number is bigger than this number. So this y-intercept is greater. Okay. Any questions about that? Pause for the cause. And guys, I need to make sure you hear that I'm going to record this in the video. There are only 4 weeks left in the quarter. Okay. If you're behind, you need to come and consult me. Stay stay ahead of the game. Please ask for help if you need it. Okay, this week, make sure you have your guided practice submitted. We submitted that yesterday. Please make sure that you have already, we had 5 weeks to complete the diagnostic test. We've also had the same amount of time to do 3 already lessons, okay, which is due today, but I'm going to extend that deadline to Monday. So you have the weekend to do that. And then make sure that you catch up on your Delta math. Remember, like I told you earlier, I didn't give you any Delta math assignments for the last 2 weeks so that you could get caught up. I'm going to be giving you a new Delta math assignment on Monday. So guys, please use your time wisely and get those things done, okay? If you are stressing, you need to come see me so I can help you. I will help you, I promise. Okay? But you got to ask for help if you need help. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. If you need to watch this again, please watch the video. It will be on the Canvas page for this week, week 5, and it'll also send this video in remind. Okay?